Morning. It's turned out nice again. It's Wednesday, the 19th of August 2020, and you're watching KopTalk.tv. Alright, how's it going, guys? You alright? Yes, nice and early in the morning here. As you can probably tell, I haven't woken up yet. I recorded a video for you yesterday. It was about half an hour long. It was about Thiago and the journalist Fabrizio Romano. And I shelved it in the end. I recorded the video several times. I tried to make this video for you, and each time I didn't like it as I was going through. Even 10 minutes into it, I was like, don't like it, stop it. And then I started it again. Eventually, I did one, and it was 30 minutes long. I started uploading it. I got to about 60% of the upload, and I went, no, I'm not going with it. And it's still there if you want me to upload it. But I just thought. I don't know. Maybe I should upload it. I don't know. Look, all I was saying was that the reason I stopped uploading it was because I just thought that maybe, like Fabrizio Romano, a lot of people like him and what he claims. But I saw an article published by him yesterday in the Guardian, I think it was, about Thiago, and I just thought it was classic backtracking. I got 22 years experience with this, guys. You know what I'm saying? And I see what to do. I can see what these journalists do, where they try and reel people in. Using the word official, Liverpool make official approach, for the first time. I mean, it's complete nonsense. Bayern Munich approached Liverpool weeks, if not months ago, regarding availability of one of our players. Now, I don't know who that was, but I believe it was a midfield player. I was told it was a midfield player, probably Wijnaldum or Keita or whatever. And during that approach, Liverpool made a counter-inquiry regarding Thiago, like, what's the crack going on here? So that was ages ago, and it was well documented, and people have seen this on the KopTalk members website. People that have seen this ages ago, and then the claims that we'd made this we've officially started talking to Bayern Munich for the first time about Thiago was complete nonsense, guys. So please don't believe that. And the word official shouldn't be used in that context anyway. The word official, as far as I'm concerned, should be used when a player officially signs someone or makes a statement, because that is an official statement or development by a club. You can't use the word official in speculation. Do you know what I mean? But these journalists, they use these words like official to reel you in. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fans that they read things like that and go, because they were contacting me. I was doing a live stream on here on KopTalk.tv at the time, and people went, "Oh, we've made an official, official blah blah blah," and I'm like, "What? What have I missed?" And they see that and they think, "Oh, if it's official, then that must mean that it's." Oh God, guys, this is what I meant. This is what I was going on about in the video yesterday. It did my fucking head in. The Thiago situation, like, what can I say? I mean, the latest suggestion is that PSG are now going to step up and take him away from us because of our hesitation. Look, I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest. When all the hysteria went down last week over this situation, did you see me come out and say anything? Did you see people associated to me on the members' website, for example, come out and say anything? Or was it fairly calm? Did you see any credible journalists from the Liverpool clique? Did you see any of them come out and say that it was all happening? No, where did it all come from? It all came from Germany. When you see a leak regarding any club matters, especially specifically transfer-related stuff, you've always got to say this. The minute you see it, guys, when you see these claims come out, and when it's like, not just a claim by a random journalist, when it's everywhere, so it's like someone's put it out, you've got to say to yourself, who benefits from this? That's all you got to do. Who benefits from this? And then start looking around and start thinking about it. If Liverpool make an approach for Thiago or any other player, they're not going to leak that. Because why would they not leak? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now, and you must know. But if you don't, maybe you're young red or something like that, right? You don't leak when you're trying to buy a player, because you don't want to alert your rivals and force them into action for it. You want to do it very, very quiet. And when it does get leaked, usually from the other side, the club, the player that you're trying to get, you are then angry because you're like, who's fucking leaked this, right? Do you know what I mean? So you only leak things when it benefits you, which is why you see the Liverpool clique, which is a handful of journalists that the club brief on certain matters, because they want that news out there. And you'll see them all within seconds of each other tweet something out, or publish something all around the same time, yeah? And, the days of the good old-fashioned football hack have gone. You used to, back in the day, you'd get the journalists would come out and go, exclusive, I've got this news about Liverpool. You don't see that now. When was the last time you saw an exclusive by one of the journalists, and only he went with it and it became right? It just doesn't happen. The only benefit you would have got from Liverpool leaking that those claims about Thiago last week would have been if it was to put pressure on the Wijnaldum camp, right? Because if you're Wijnaldum, you're going to go, oh, fucking hell, they're looking at replacing me now. I better sign that offer, otherwise they're going to withdraw it. That's the only reason it could have come up. But no Liverpool journalists were used, so I don't believe that was the case. So, are Liverpool interested in Thiago? Yes, absolutely. We've been saying this for a long time. We don't need no German journalist to tell us this. But what have I been saying to you? If you've been paying attention to my podcast, or if you're on the members website, or my live streams, or whatever, I have said to you a specific thing, and that is watch the news articles from the more credible sources back home. At the end of each article, most of the ones that, look at the Liverpool Echo, right? The Liverpool Echo's not what it was at all, that is for sure. I mean, some of they clickbait more now than fucking blogs. They will say, we understand, or we believe, that there is no interest in Thiago at the current time, at the present time. Now, when I've pointed this out to people weeks ago, right, and since then they all keep coming back to me going, fucking hell, Dunk, I've seen that used everywhere now, that's little saying there in relation to Thiago. Why are they doing that? Because that's the emphasis that the club have given to them when they've got that little bit of news out to them, all right? Not at the present time, not at the current time. So at that point, that sentence there, which you will see all over now, is if it's not at the present time, not at the current time, because that therefore means it's not the right time, when is the right time? Yeah, because they're not saying there's no interest in Thiago. They're not saying that. They're saying there's no interest in Thiago at the present time. So at what time does there become interest? Right? So what that means is Liverpool are interested in signing, but just not right now, because it's just not the right scenario. And we know what that means, don't you guys? It's to do with that, right? Are you going to go and spend £27.2 million, approximately 30 million euros, on a player at that age when his contract's nearly up? No. So therefore, now is not the right time, is it? So what that means is Bayern have to significantly reduce that transfer valuation for a deal to happen now, and then it becomes the right time. Or Liverpool wait until January, because January would be a good time, wouldn't it? Because the valuation at 27.2 million sterling will be at least half of that in only, for 3-4 months' time or something. Liverpool probably start negotiating around December or something. The player's free to negotiate a free transfer from the 1st of January, I believe. When is a good time to sign Thiago? Next summer, when he costs fuck all. That's a good time. Hence why now, at the present time, Liverpool are not interested, or want you to believe that. I believe Liverpool are interested. I believe Liverpool would sign him during the current transfer window, although that could be dependent on what's happened, with outgoings. Now, in a video that I spoke about for the members of this YouTube channel a few days ago, if you want to support my channel, it would be appreciated. Just click on join underneath the video. If you're on an iPad or an iPhone, I think you've got to use a browser to do it. In that video, I spoke about a meeting on August 7th, Friday, I think it was August 7th. And, there started to be the vibe that maybe Wijnaldum was going to go because a deadline had been ignored as to when the club really wanted to know what he wanted to do. Now, that's not like the club being like, you must tell us by this date. It's just like, look, we need to, move on, lad. So if you could just let us know, that's gone, that's passed. So Liverpool, right, around the same time, I mentioned this on the members' website, etc. I said, look, the current vibe apparently is that they're starting to think he might jump ship. And the only reason they were coming to that feeling was because that date had been passed. So Within 24 or 48 hours of saying that, his representatives then went to Sky Sports, or went through Sky Sports, and said, hang on a minute, we haven't even heard from Liverpool regards discussing an extension. So who do you believe? Do you believe the club, or do you believe that camp? So there was something wrong. There's something wrong there for a start in terms of who's, telling the truth and who's telling porkies. Then, boom, out comes this claim I think it was Thursday, that we had made our official first talks with Bayern regarding Thiago. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm trying to say to you. What I'm trying to say to you is, most people, I think, would think that the signing of Alcantara is quite dependent on an outgoing of a similar player, midfield player at the club, and there's a possibility of that happening. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe that won't happen. If it does happen, an outgoing, then that does make that situation a bit more, we could really do with him. So you've got the player, you've got Wijnaldum that's like, I think he's just like holding out as long as possible, right, to see what happens, to keep his options open or whatever. And that's why the club need to, they need to know what's going on. And I think that Liverpool would try and bring Thiago in now during the current window if the fee was reduced significantly. If it's not, then guess what? Now is not the right time, not at the current time. So then you look at January, and then you could say, well, let's look at the summer when he's free. But by then, that's a lot of time. I've seen us linked with players, and we've been really, really interested in them, where it looked like a certainty we were going to sign them, like a certain that we were going to sign them. But then, 6 months passes or whatever, or you might have success in the league, or something might happen, and they go, do you know what, we're not going. Anything could change. So I don't know. Anyway, there's something else I wanted to talk to you about was that at that meeting on August 7th, if you've watched that video on here, or if you're on the members website and you're seeing conversations about it, but I'd like to share it with you guys as well, is that at that August 7th meeting, there was, like, I'm telling you about the news articles to do with Thiago from, say, like the Liverpool Echo, and they keep putting that little bit that says, not at the present time. Well, there was one message came out from that meeting on August 7th, and that was, where possible. Those two words there, where possible, in relation to Liverpool's transfer interests or business this summer, where possible, we would like to leave it as late as possible, because the owners, we being the owners, FSG, the senior bods, whatever you want to call them, the big cheese, the suits, they would prefer, where possible, right, because Tsimikas, for example, the Greek defender we've just signed, was obviously not possible, but listen, you'll get it in a minute. Where possible, we would like to do our business a little bit later in the window, because that'll give us time to really understand the market, the valuation, see what's happening. And the reason they had that stance was because they said the window obviously is going to be open quite late. The Premier League campaign will have got underway. We'll still have a little bit of time maybe to do it. Now, it's a gamble if you leave your stuff late, because other clubs may come in for them, etc. Some clubs might get desperate and lower the valuations if no one's gone in for them, etc. But the key point was statement. The key words from that August 7th meeting was where possible. And the reason I mentioned Tsimikas is because I'm contradicting myself, aren't I? Because they didn't leave him done to the end of the winter. No, they didn't. And the reason they didn't was because they needed to get that position sorted ASAP. They needed that cover for that position. We knew that we had Jamal Lewis as an option. Tsimikas, in my opinion, was first choice. But he had other clubs actively trying to sign him. In Italy, in France, and even the UK. I think Leicester City was one of them. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. So that therefore wasn't where possible, was it? That was like, well, we can't fuck around with this. We need to do it. Now, if the vibe from Michael Edwards apparently, right, was that Norwich City would have done business for Jamal Lewis. They believed that they would have done a deal for that. But it would have been protracted. It would have dragged on for ages, and Liverpool didn't want to do that. It was just like, no, let's just go back to the first choice, because the first offer for Tsimikas was rejected, and Olympiacos turned around and said, look, give us a little bit more and we'll do business. Liverpool went away and went for Lewis, right? when that was obvious that they were going to hold out for a lot more money, they were like, fuck it, let's go back to the original and pay a little bit more. And they got who they wanted. And I'm delighted. I think that's a great signing. I think that's going to be really good. I think you're going to like it. But the vibe, we went on the members' website. It was up for discussion. This is the vibe that Edwards would have got Lewis if he wanted him, but it would have been protracted. It would have gone on for ages. But Liverpool wanted to tie this up straight away. That was the vibe. A few days later, after those claims were made on KopTalk, the regional newspaper, if you like, the newspaper that's closest to Norwich City, came out and said Norwich are stunned. They thought the deal was going to happen. Lewis cut short his holiday to make it, to get his dream move to Liverpool. Norwich City officials believed that a deal could have been brokered and it would have happened. So they were basically just trying it on, which is fine. That's their prerogative. That's business. That's what they're supposed to do. But Liverpool were like, fuck it, we just want to get this kid in as soon as possible and progress. Since then, we haven't really seen much, have we? And I still think there could be some transfer business this window. But the bit I wanted to emphasise to you was that the message that came from the August 7th meeting was, where possible, can we just take our time during the current window? So the reason I'm telling you that is, don't be surprised if there is some late activity. And don't be surprised if there's no fucking activity with these owners, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. That's the 2 points I want to make to you. Where possible, later in the window, not at the present time. Now then, I was about what? Can you even joke? You can't even have a fucking joke today, can you? Thiago. So, after I upload this video today, at the time of uploading, now is not the present time, a current time to sign Thiago. An hour after watching this video, we could sign him, because that would mean that it was the right time. And what would make it the right time? I'm going to say that. So if the Germans, yes, I don't think I can say the Germans either, can I? You can't banter anymore, can you? You can't say it now, can you? You can't say fuck all. Fuck them. The Germans, if they lower their transfer, Klopp knows he's German, isn't he? Don't want to upset him. If the Germans lower that valuation, that's the right fucking time. So, listen to me. Thiago's on the radar. Thiago's been on the radar for fucking ages. Do you really think they're going to spend that much money on a player of that age when they can get him for next and out in a few months' time? Fuck. So, don't listen to all these fucking journalists using words to try and lure you in and all that, right? When it first came out from Germany, how long did it take the likes of Fabrizio Romano and the other fucking knobheads and all that? They're all like, I'm missing out here. And they all jump on it going, there's been contact. It's very close, very close. Been very close for fucking weeks. They're a shower of shit, guys. I don't give a fuck who they are. Don't get me wrong, some of them have got some excellent contacts. There's no doubt about it. But how do they know everything that's happening at every fucking club? And if it's very close, if it's imminent, why has it not happened then? Because it's not the present time. It's not the present time. It's not the right time. However the fucking way you want to explain it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining myself well enough to you guys. Let's have a look at that. Just need to maximise that. So my CCTV cameras are down here, screen down there with my CCTV. Or not in case I get fucking raided or anything. No, I've got an Amazon delivery coming. It's about the highlight of my fucking day. But I'm going to go live on KopTalk.tv in a minute, right here on this... what's with all the bits? Fuck's sake. Right here on this YouTube channel, I go live during the day. Come along for a chat. Yeah, right here on this channel, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all day I'm usually live. Come along for a natter. And it's always nice to see you, especially if you're in the squad. If you've got a little, football next to your name or a green name in the comments or chat, that's someone that means that they support my channel. And they're lovely, wonderful human beings, as Brendan Rodgers would say. I hope I've explained myself well. If I haven't, drop a question. So, are we signing Thiago? I don't fucking know. I'm not no Twitter ITK, am I? I'm not that intelligent, mate. No. Are we signing him? Who knows? It's money, isn't it, guys? It's all about money. if we have a departee, for example, in midfield, then that, I would say, that enhances the possibility of it happening. But I also think that the emphasis of it's not right at the current time is specifically relating to money, and that's it. And someone said to me, "Oh, they should just pay it. They should just pay it. Get it?" No, I disagree on this one. They should have just paid for Timo Werner. Yes, £100 million player for 50 million. I'd have been all over that. But we can criticise for stuff like that if we want. That's our opinions. It would be wrong for Liverpool just to go and pay what Bayern want for this player at his age, but mainly because of his contract situation. That's it, simple as that. In my opinion, I think Bayern want to negotiate a deal. I think they do. And I think Liverpool are playing it very, 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 very cool. I mean, Michael Edwards is a fucking legend. He's an unsung hero as far as I'm concerned. But I think they're playing it cool. And it wouldn't surprise me if we sign this boy. It wouldn't surprise me if we sign him at all. It's how much he wants to move. If he wants to hold out and be a bit greedy and negotiate a free transfer next year and get a nice big paycheck for himself, that's up to him. But we know that the boss really likes Thiago, because we've seen comments before where he said when we signed Naby Keita, he said that they were the best midfield fucking duo whatever at the time. I can't remember what he said, but he's being quoted as big in his lad. We know he likes him. We know he'd like to bring him in. Is there an urgency to bring him in? I don't think so. If the squad stays as it is. I hope I've explained myself well in this video. Sometimes, I don't think I explained myself very well. Did I explain myself well in this video? Please let me know in the comment section. Your comments, I read every comment, good and bad. I get rid of the bad ones. I don't delete them. I just get rid of the people. What I mean by that is I don't get rid of people that disagree with me. I get rid of people that are just abusive, or just fucking cock. Just get rid of them straight away. You hide them, basically, and I think they continue posting for the rest of their life, but don't realise that no one can see what they're saying. I think that's better than banning anyone, personally. No, of course, I like anyone to challenge my opinions and stuff like that. That's fine, that's what we do, isn't it, guys? We've all got different opinions, and my opinion's certainly no more important than yours. I just don't like dickheads, that's all. I think that's it. I hope I've got explained what I wanted to say to you. Surely I don't have to go over it again. I was very suspicious of the original reports last week when they were using words like official within speculation. We know for a fact that Liverpool and Bayern Munich had spoken before last Thursday or whenever it was, which is fucking stupid. The Liverpool side of things is very quiet. Michael Edwards is a legend. Now is not the present time. The present time isn't the right time to sign Thiago, but that can change within an hour. It's all about that. That fees, if their demands drop considerably, that it's the perfect fucking time. That's what'll happen. January becomes a better time. The summer becomes an even better time. Yada yada yada. So I think you've worked that one out. A deal will happen if that valuation comes down. Wijnaldum, I think you're going to hear something very, very soon, one way or the other, in relation to that, because he's exceeded the deadline that Liverpool Football Club wanted to have things, sorted out by, and they were pissball around for much longer. So I think we'll hear something on that, one way or the other, be it a new extension. I think that he's wanting a longer deal than maybe they're willing to offer him, and additionally, he's not going to get the same sort of lucrative deal as he will somewhere else now at his age. So he's got to take that into account. I hope he stays, mate. Personally, I hope he stays. And the other thing was the August 7th meeting, where possible, Liverpool would rather just wait and see what happens with a lot of stuff. But that is a gamble in terms of you might lose players. So I do think there'll be more activity, guys. And I'm really sorry if I fucked this video up. Like I say, I did a video yesterday for 30 minutes, and I think that's made it harder for me to make this video because I can't really remember what I said in it, and I didn't want to be too critical of certain journalists. See, even then, just right through my head, then I went, scrap this video, don't do it, don't put it on. But no, I'll put it on, and I'll see what the reaction to it is. And hopefully it's okay. just keep listening. Watch the Thiago stuff. I believe it's a genuine link. I believe we do want to sign him, but I just think that it is purely that valuation, guys. That's it. Purely the valuation. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? But it's just when they come out and say things like officially speaking to Bayern for the first time, and you just know it's a lie. And so many fans are like, "Oh my God, yes, it's happening! Don't! It's official! It's official!" It's like, no, it's not official. It's official when Liverpool or Bayern Munich say it's official. That's when it's official. Pisses me off when they do this. Yeah, but he's bought an house now. He's got an house, and he's bought a fucking car on Liverpool and that. He's on his way. I hate them fuckers, man. I can't stand them. I hate seeing you guys get fucking misled. That's what I do. Right, I'm off, otherwise I'm going to start moaning again. Right, I'm going to try and do another video in a minute when I can get all this fucking... I was going to say dandruff, but it isn't. I don't have any hair on my head to have fucking dandruff. I'm 46 next month. Years, not stone. September 13th is my birthday. Alright. I want a beer. Well, I can't have a beer. Vodka Diet Coke. You better fucking buy me a vodka Diet Coke for me. You fucking just come on here and watch my videos and do one. Nah, I'm not having that. Nah. Join the channel. Click join and help a brother out. Hey, I tell you what. Thumbs up the video and leaving a comment's good. When I see a nice little comment and people, appreciate my vids and that, it makes me think, yeah, it's worth it. You know what I mean? It's worth it, man. I'm missing the football. I'm looking forward to the football coming back. I want the fans in the stadium though. Oh God, I need to go. I'm going to be waffling for this. This is an half an hour long fucking video. Right, guys, I'm going to put it up now, and you won't be disappointed.